Hashtags are one of the most powerful tools online, but you may be wondering, what exactly is a hashtag? This is social media, best described as the social sphere. Here is a singular post. By using a hashtag, not only does it increase post exposure by 12.6%, it puts your post into a community of similar content.
More recently, body positivity has allowed users online to embrace who they are and be happy in their skin. I want to find out the impact that it's now having offline.
I've headed to the University of Arts to get some answers. Meet Dr. Zoe Soujon, a social media expert.
My name is Tanya Soujon. I'm a program director of communications and media program at London College of Communication, and I specialize in social media. So we'll just take it at 3 levels, okay? Like one would be the meta level. So we're seeing a lot of work emerge, such as the idea of surveillance capitalism or the idea of data colonialism, which is trying to look at the ways in which not just particular social media companies, but empires like Facebook, like Google, like Amazon, like Apple are sort of really having an impact on our social, political, and economic infrastructures. So in that sense, there's social and digital media, not just social media, are really transforming our economic and political systems. Then there's also perhaps like the interpersonal impact. Often they say that social media has become a kind of social or public sphere. It's the ways in which lots of people, particularly in the West, meet with others and socialize. And then there's the personal or individual level, which can vary significantly. You know, some people will find and experience a sense of loneliness and being cut off, a sense of increased perhaps depression or anxiety because they're comparing themselves to others. Other people will have very radically different experiences where they'll be much more connected to others and be able to find real opportunities for self-development and growth. So there's a lot of variation, and I think it's a very complex question that we really need to think about seriously. There's some theories about how social media has altered the ways that we socialize. On one hand, you get people who say we are more disconnected, we are more connected to our phones, and in fact technology is a substitute for intimacy, like Sherry Turkle, for example. And then you get other people, like Henry Jenkins perhaps, or Mark Zuckerberg, who say we are more connected than we've ever been. I can, talk to my grandmother across the world, and this is amazing. How they regulate inappropriate content, I think, is very, very problematic, in part because of reactive moderation, but also in part how certain kinds of content are more linked to the generation of advertising income. So that can cause a problem. In that, say on Facebook, sexualized material is accepted, whereas, and sometimes content showing domestic abuse might be accepted if it's presented in a kind of joke or humorous way, whereas, neo-Nazism and hate might be overlooked because it's directly tied to income generation.
Our mental health is important, and in a world where social media is filled with false perfection and airbrushing, inclusive movements such as body positivity will need to prosper.